Howdy, everybody. Welcome to the Procedurally Generated Show. I'm your host, Tony. It is a special E3 recap episode this week, and I am joined by Ethan.
How's it going?
We just watched the most bizarre thing I have ever seen.
E3, bizarre thing. I'll take... What is Ubisoft doing for 500?
No, they haven't gone yet.
Oh.
We are recording this before Ubisoft's press conference, but after Devolver Digital's. And we'll get to that a little later, but it was insane.
Yeah, I'm really glad I hadn't seen a Devolver Digital one before now.
Have you never watched any of their ones from the last 2 years?
I had no reason to because I always missed them, and I could get the videos later, but it was like, who needs videos when you already have a game list?
Oh man,
The surprise is completely removed, so I had no idea what I was getting into.
Yeah. They are simply the most fun part of E3 every year. They are rude, they're crude, they are just over the top.
It's like they have a budget of $2 and they spent every penny of it
on blood. So, because there's a lot of it every year. Every year. They find more inventive ways to throw blood on people than any Hollywood movie director. So, but yes, it is E3 time, and we have at this point watched 4 of the press conferences. Well, you've watched 4. I've watched about 3 and 3/4 of them.
I've watched 3 and like a third.
Okay. So, and our ones that we've watched that the other one didn't are probably different. So, like I watched EA, I don't think you probably did.
I watched what I needed from EA, and that was it.
Okay.
So there's my 1/3.
Speaking of EA, they were the first press conference of the show, even though the show hasn't properly begun. EA on Saturday had their EA Play event hosted by Greg Miller from Kind of Funny Games.
Yeah, Greg Miller.
So
just gonna leave that comment as it is.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna go there because you and I think the same thing.
I mean, he looks like he enjoys what he does. So props to the guy.
He does.
And the fact that no one punches him in the face for doing it, more props. I'm sure he's like really awesome outside of that.
So EA started off their event with the game that I was most interested in, and that is the new Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
I had zero interest until I saw gameplay.
This game looks amazing.
Amazing! It's amazing enough to get me completely interested in wanting to play it.
Yeah.
So that's actually saying quite a lot.
So this game takes place after Episode 3, after Order 66. So most of the Jedi have been
all the younglings have been killed. Yes.
Yeah, Anakin killed them all.
Thanks, Anakin. Jerk.
It takes place between Episodes 3 and 4. This game is officially canon, so everything that happens in this game is official story in the Star Wars universe.
They even have that one guy that's got like the lazy eye that's in some of the more recent movies in the game.
Oh, Saw Gerrera.
There we go.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I was really enjoyed about this was because I saw him on screen, but I didn't see if they'd mentioned his name. I had stepped away for a second and came back, and I said, "Is that Saw Gerrera?" And because he has that big shoulder spike, or big shoulder pad, it looked exactly like a young Forrest Whitaker. No, not Forrest Whitaker. Not Forrest Whitaker.
I don't know who you're talking about, so you're on your own for this.
Why can I not remember his name? That's gonna bug me. It was right there. I almost had it. Maybe is it Forrest Whitaker? No,
it probably. I don't know. Anyway,
you do that while I look this up because I have gotta.
We got to see some of the Jedi powers that Yeah, what?
Hold on. No, keep going.
So we got to see some of the Jedi powers, generic stuff like the Force pull and Force push. You do get to see the lightsaber throw ability and have it come back. What
Yeah, I
does
was
that
right.
little
It's
spinning
Forrest
thing?
Whitaker.
Good, mystery solved. So yeah, lightsaber throw thing. That's back in full force and looks pretty cool. They have the new ability where you kind of lock down an enemy where they're at, and they explained that it was like a combination of pull and push at the same time. So
Yeah,
that's gonna be interesting.
they showed off these Jedi powers. They show off were really cool. Some stuff we'd kind of seen before, some new stuff.
But
Uh,
the way it's being used looks really well done.
the one thing they did say was that none of this is like canned animation, so you're not hitting, you know, a button to do a combo of force moves. You actually choose the force moves in succession what you want to do. And one of the things that stood out to me and some of the people here that were watching it with me was this one combo where one of the troopers had fired a blaster at him,
Oh
and
yes.
he stopped it and he slowed down time, stopped it, pulled the trooper towards him, and then
It,
stepped in front of the blaster bolt.
so yeah, you have a time slowdown, like you're speeding yourself up. Trooper's shooting at him, and since he slowed down time, the bullets are moving slow motion. Just
Mm.
force grabs the trooper over, which I'm sure in that slowed down time where he's moving full speed, that would have probably snapped the trooper's neck right away. But then he just pulls him over, puts him in the way of the bullet, then goes on his merry way.
Yeah. This game looks phenomenal. Like I
I
was,
want to see what other powers we get if we had to choose between a light and dark side, maybe.
they said no to that. They
Dang
did
it.
specifically. They were asked
Well, I
specifically
guess you wouldn't
because
be a Jedi then, would you?
in past games, that's exactly what they said. You normally would get to choose: do you want to go down the light side path or the dark side path? They said no. In this one, we are telling a very specific story that has to fit into the canon of the Star Wars universe. So you are a Jedi. You will be a Jedi through the whole thing. You can't go down the sort of dark side path.
Okay,
So,
that's fair.
which
That's
is
fair.
one thing I really appreciate because a lot of developers now are just all about giving people all the choices they possibly want, and fewer of them seem like they're telling specific stories, which I'm glad to see that they're doing.
I'm sure they could have worked in a way to make it where you're choosing different powers or something, or you probably still get to pick different powers because there were skill points earned in that preview. There was also you have your own little helper bot on your back.
Yes.
What was it?
I
Uh,
couldn't tell if they were saying like B4 or D4.
it was
But
BID0 or something.
okay. But I
Anyway,
couldn't really.
he is kind of adorable.
Oh, very. And they actually, did you see that they had
They had him on the stage,
a physical one
yes.
on the stage? Yeah.
And that one doesn't look like it'd be able to climb your shoulder like it does that guy's, but
No, that one looked like it was very stationary. But yeah, they did show off some sort of gameplay stuff with him where he'd be able to do the typical things like you would expect a droid to do, hacking into computer systems and doing things like that.
the conversations the two have are hilarious too.
Yeah. Well, that's
Uh,
something they always try to do with the human and the droid counterpart is
uh,
build the relationship between those two.
I do need to skip ahead here to the Microsoft one when they showed excess footage of that, or extra footage, I should say.
Hmm.
Did you happen to catch that?
Yeah, I did. I saw that during the Microsoft press conference, but I'm not
It
entirely sure
just
what you're alluding
they
to.
you was it the AT, was it ATST or ATAT? Which one's the four-legged?
That was the AT-AT that they showed off.
Okay, so they took down the ATAT, and then they're getting out of. I guess it got blown up or something while they were in there, and they somehow escaped it. And the bot is climbing out after our protagonist, whose name I haven't bothered to learn.
I think they said Cade or something like that.
Maybe. Anyway, they're having a conversation. He's like, and the robot beeps at him. He's like, "No, we can't do it again."
Yeah, that was funny.
But
Um,
the little robot also spits out healing things, and he's kind of
yeah,
like your life meter because his light reflects your life. But you also have a life bar, so that's weird.
no. So I am very, very curious to know because I know some of the other characters that are still alive at this point, if they show up during this or if this is going to be something completely separate and they kind of keep it away from the stuff we've seen aside from like characters like Saw Gerrera and things, or if they're just going to be like, you know what, people are going to expect it. This is all taking place during that period of time. We've got to show you some of these other characters like Ahsoka and some of the others.
Boba Fett during his early days of training.
Exactly. So they do go. They are on Kashyyyk, so we may see Chewie at some point.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
I'm sure we could gush about this Star Wars game all day, but there is a
I'm
lot
sure
to
we
cover,
could.
so we should probably move on.
Yeah, I was remotely curious about this, but now I am very excited about this new Star Wars game.
Totally all in for getting a game I had zero interest in before.
That's happened a couple times now
Yeah, I know.
with stuff. So after that, they showed off the new Apex Legends character.
Yes, a whole 30 minutes or so of talking about a new character.
Pretty much, yep.
I don't.
Uh,
I've never played Apex Legends. It's. I guess it's all right. I don't know.
I've got a couple hours into it. That's all I've really got.
And
This new
people were
character's
talking
name.
about a new gun in there as well. So
Mhm. The new character's name is Watson. She uses electrical powers, and her big thing is that she is. They talked a lot about her. At least I seem to think they talked a lot about her being a support type character, who's going to be good at building up defenses. Like they showed off this ability that she has, where she can create electrical fences that opposing players can't get through, but your team can walk through. If they do, they did show that the wall sort of disappeared for a few seconds. So if one of your characters walks through, that then gives the opponents a chance to kind of rush you for 2 or 3 seconds.
and something about her being near a certain thing makes her stronger. And if she's further away from it, she's weaker. I don't understand the mechanics of it,
Yeah.
but I
I'm
like
not
I
a
said, I
huge
didn't
Apex
play.
Legends player, so I can't explain a lot of the intricacies about the character. She does look cool. I like the electrical sort of backpack that she has on her back.
Yeah, like everything on her back apparently is stuff she uses in combat. So that's
Yeah,
pretty neat.
yeah. They did mention that if you see it on her, if there's like a piece of equipment on her, you will see her take that piece of equipment off at different points and use that stuff.
Apparently, the gun that's coming in is the L Star plasma fueled EMG, and it's like a random occurrence or spawn, and just whatever ammo it has is all it has when you get it. Uh, People were saying that was a gun from Titanfall,
Okay.
so there you go. You're it's dating back to Titanfall.
Well, I mean that makes sense since it's part of the Titanfall universe.
Yeah, but I mean,
So,
I'd rather have the mechs.
well, yeah, I think a lot of people would. Um, let's see. After that, EA showed off some new maps and modes for Battlefield.
Battlefield 5, new maps and locations, and yeah,
It's a lot more Battlefield. I did like some of the integrated gameplay they were showing off with tanks and airplanes and infantry type stuff. That very classic Battlefield feel. Uh,
it definitely looked like a Battlefield.
it looked very much like a Battlefield game. Um,
Oh,
I
that
think
too.
uh, let's see if
After that, we have FIFA 20.
FIFA 20.
Gosh, a lot of FIFA games.
There have been a lot of FIFA games, and the big thing they focused on with this was, aside from talking about some gameplay innovations with players on the ball, players off the ball. They talked a lot about the new ball mechanics themselves. But the thing they really focused on during the FIFA segment was this new mode called Volta, which is a popular form of street soccer around the world.
Really?
Yeah, they talked about it being, and they talked about it being very customizable. You know, 3v3, 5v5, whatever. And then hyping up the fact that you could use the play field as sort of an additional teammate. So you could, they were talking about how you could kick the ball off the wall to try to get it past a defender.
Okay.
and things like that. It's very much sort of small, confined street hockey thing, but it's a big popular thing around the world. And this actually looked really cool. I've played some FIFA in the past. I'm not a huge FIFA fan, but this looked kind of cool. I don't know that this is the kind of thing that's going to get me to buy FIFA day one. But a little later down the line, once FIFA goes down in price, that's usually when I start to pick up those sports games. Um, so
Okay.
this is really cool. This is something I was really interested in. I like the customization of the different characters and the things you can do with that, and really give your player a lot of personality.
After they got done talking football, they talked
They
football.
talk more
I was gonna
football.
try to do the John Madden thing, football, but I choked up there at the last second. So we're
Yeah, a
talking
lot of
American football now.
Madden 20.
Madden NFL 20. Yeah.
Yep, and they focused a lot on the create a superstar experience, talking about going from the draft and working your way up, and how they were trying to really focus on that, um, getting you to feel like you are in the NFL yourself. So
Didn't didn't FIFA do that last year?
all of the sports games do this kind of stuff.
Wow. They're trying to add story modes. That's cool.
Yeah. So and then I missed the last little bit where they talked about The Sims. I have no idea what.
I had stopped watching before they started talking FIFA, so we're both in the same boat on this one.
I care less than nothing about The Sims. So
Sims, I'm sure it's more sim related fun and hijinks and putting them into rooms without doors and windows with a fire hazard, I'm sure.
exactly, that's exactly what you're gonna do because that's what everybody does.
In a swimming pool, no water and no way out.
So
There you go.
uh, the biggest thing for me was from EA was by far the Star Wars thing, and then Battlefield I may eventually play at some point, but that's not.
If it goes
That
free to
was
play or
nothing.
something, right?
I'd love for them to, like, if they would bring Battlefield Heroes back and make that free to play like a Fortnite style game. I would play that in a second. Like in a second. I loved Battlefield Heroes on the PC. I put so much time into that
So, yeah, that's the EA side covered. And moving on to
game.
Microsoft.
Microsoft.
And they
Uh,
opened it up with Outer Worlds, I believe.
I think so.
And
The
they didn't do like they did last year, where last year it seemed like Fallout with Rick and Morty jokes. This
Yeah,
year it just seems like Fallout in space world locations.
and
So,
I was when they first showed this off, I was thinking it was like a No More Hero, not a No More Heroes, a No Man's Sky
yeah,
thing.
they had that little trick going on for a second. I could see that.
So I thought this was very much an exploration type thing, and that's not what it ended up being.
No, it's very much a world where corporate whatever has taken over everything, and no
It's
one's
like
ever thought of
Fallout and Cyberpunk and
no one's ever
all of
thought
that.
about fighting back against the corporations, and then you show up.
Exactly. And you fight
Well,
back against the corporations.
you kind of do what you want. Like you help a guy out, he's like, "Here, you can have this gun of mine," and then they immediately show the guy testing out the gun on the guy that just gave it to him.
Exactly.
So yeah, you're the protagonist. You make the choices.
Let's see. The recap that I have doesn't go in order for Microsoft.
It
So
does not. I.
I'm just going to kind of run down the way we have
Yeah,
it.
yeah, sure.
Um, Microsoft revealed details about Scarlet, except they didn't really talk a lot about Scarlet.
They mentioned something to do with the new solid state drive technology, and then using that also as RAM.
Yeah.
So that's gonna circumvent some problems here and there, and be kind of amazing
It seemed
because I mean,
during this.
I
Go
mean,
ahead.
a hard drive is technically already RAM,
Yeah.
especially USB thumb drives. Those can be used as RAM if you do it right. So, or so I'm told. So, kind of some crazy fun they can have, and do, and supposedly it's going to be 4 times better. The processor's 4 times more powerful than Xbox One X. So
Yeah.
there's that, and I don't know all the other tech specs on there, but I
They
would
didn't
love
really
to
talk
compare
tech
it.
specs during the press conference.
They mentioned some here and there, but I would love to compare what they're doing to what Sony's doing for the PS5.
We do know that Scarlet, whatever it ends up being called, whether it's the Xbox Two, the
Johansson.
Xbox Scarlet, yeah, yeah, the Xbox Scarlet Johansson, the Xbox Black Widow, whatever it is,
That
will
might
launch.
happen.
It will launch holiday 2020. So
You have
you
like
know,
a year and a half.
about 18 months or so until I'm imagining November. That's usually when holiday. Uh,
I'm sure they'll show the like final full product E3 next year, and
oh yeah, yeah.
then you just gotta wait like 5 months, and you can get it in your hands. There you go.
And we know the first launch title for Scarlet as well.
Halo Infinite.
Halo Infinite. They showed off a trailer. Master Chief still floating out in space.
That is such a spoiler because I haven't finished number 5 yet.
Oh, sorry. Uh, uh, some dude in a spaceship comes, picks him up, and Master Chief's like, you know what? It's time to fight. And he
Well,
jumps
I
out of
mean,
the
the guy's
spaceship.
been by himself in that, I guess, Pelican for days. So
It's been a long time.
yeah, and
Obviously, he's sort of resigned himself to his death, and then he gets a signal
he's
saying,
sitting right outside of a Halo ring too. That's been
"Yeah,
partially destroyed.
yep,
I'm wondering which one it is.
I am not up on the Halo lore, so I couldn't tell you."
I'm sure I'll find out if I finish 5.
So, but yeah, Halo will launch holiday 2020 on Scarlet and PC.
Yes,
So
and we'll have more PC news to talk about here in a minute.
yes, we will. Then they showed off, or Phil Spencer talked a bunch about XCloud, um, and
Cloud
hyped up
gaming, yes.
that streaming service, and said that it will launch in October, about a month ahead of Stadia.
Take that, Google.
So, so Microsoft is jumping the gun, or not getting the jump on the competition when it comes to game streaming.
I'm sure it's
So,
just a update that they just have to push out to consoles for people who want it. Really.
oh, probably it goes into beta soon, if I remember correctly.
Let's see. Elden Ring was mentioned or shown some kind of cinematic thing for. That is the From Software collaboration
Yes,
with George R. Martin.
which means this game is going to be hard, and lots of people are going to die.
And both, yes. Times two.
Exactly. So
So yeah, I don't know if this is gonna be like Dark Souls, but it's giving off a vibe like that right now. But we haven't seen much other than a
no, we
guy that
haven't.
looks like he's falling apart, like chipping away at his shoulder and stuff, all cracked up, and
Yeah,
he's hammering on the anvil or something. Let's see
they
the the new Xbox One Elite controller. For those of you who have the Elite controller that fell apart a year after purchase, enjoy.
they talked about all the different ways you'd be able to customize this with adjusting the tension on the analog sticks, all the different buttons. Um,
You
they
know,
went. This controller is going to be expensive. How much are the Elite controllers now?
I want to say they were over 100.
Yeah,
It's been a while since I looked at the price, so I don't know.
this controller is probably not cheap.
And they weren't worth it because they literally were falling apart a year after release or after getting in people's hands.
That's crazy.
Probably one of the bigger surprises of the entire Microsoft uh, segment was Cyberpunk 2077, which we knew they were
Yeah,
going to show, but it's what they showed that everyone was surprised by.
it sort of blew people's minds too because they showed off a trailer, which looked very cyberpunk. They were showing this one particular character stealing some chip from somebody and then getting in a bunch of trouble, getting knocked out by them,
Wakes up in a ditch somewhere,
basically left for dead.
and this
Um,
guy just walks up. He's like, "Hey, get up, samurai!"
we got a world to burn.
and he's looking at you. He's got the big aviator glasses on. Takes them off. It's
It's
Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves.
I forgot his name. I was like, "It's John Wick,"
I mean, it might as well be.
right?
Um, he's got a cybernetic left arm. He bends down. You could tell it was Keanu Reeves, but then when he took the glasses off, it was like no doubt that that's who that was.
Yeah, it's like for a moment there, I'm like, "Is that Keanu Reeves?" And he takes them off. Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, and so yeah, Keanu Reeves is playable. I don't know what the character's name is.
Oh, I don't
Um,
know. But everyone's going crazy for that, and then he walks out on stage.
yeah, and gives a little spiel about how much he liked the idea of the game and uh, worked with the developers for a long time since last year. He said, um,
It's going to be his best game since the time he was in Bill and Ted, the video game.
so yeah, he did all the motion capture and the voice work for this character. Um, it looks really good. I don't know that I'm ever going to play this game. It comes out April 16th of 2020. They did give a release date.
I have some interest in it. I still want to see some more gameplay before I make a final decision on that
Like,
one.
yeah, it looks interesting. I like the story. I like those settings, but I don't know if this is a game I'm going to be able to get into.
It's one of those where I'm probably going to aim to get it on PC, play through it once normally, then come back and play it again using mods and stuff on there just to see what differences I can do
Yeah.
and what's not intended, really.
So then after that, Gears of War 5, a bunch of stuff was shown off for that, including a new game mode called Escape, which is a three-player co-op mode. Uh, did you see any of the details for this? Exactly what this is going to be?
I I'm still not sure. It
What?
just we had three a team of three go down into a what are they called,
Like a
hive.
hive, I think.
It's been so long since I played a Gears game. I don't remember the enemy names, but they're down in the nest of one, plant this thing, and then they're fighting their way out of it.
Yeah,
And then
and you
the
have to
thing
get out before the
detonates and
bomb
it's
goes off.
releasing all this poisonous gas that mutates and kills or whatever.
Yeah.
And so they're just a really awesome cinematic of watching that happen.
Hmm.
I thought there was four
Yeah,
of them and they left the girl behind, so that's my
I
fault
thought
for.
there was. I thought it was a four-player co-op mode as well, but then after the trailer, they talked about it being a three-player co-op mode. Um, they talked
What I
about.
found weird was the girl on there. She had a like a combat knife, and then her whole arm's got electricity going through. I was like, when did they get superpowers like this?
Between the last time they showed off the game and now.
Because she didn't have like anything, any armor or something showing a connection like that.
Yeah. They talked about new Horde mode and have said that there will be several multiplayer tests coming between now and September 10th when the game launches.
And you can play the game 4 days early if you pre-order.
Yes, and with Game Pass because
With both.
yes, one other thing they talked about, but we can talk about Game Pass a little bit, was that they said everything that they showed on in the press conference today was going to be available on Game Pass.
Oh man, I don't even have to buy Cyberpunk 2077.
And then talked about Game Pass Ultimate, which I think most everybody that we know has taken advantage of the upgrade. I haven't yet because I don't have anything that I can play Xbox stuff on. Um,
You can get it for just $1 for what, a week right now or something.
I don't know how long that promotion lasts. But
But
Game Pass Ultimate, for anybody that doesn't know yet, it is Game Pass, which is available on the Xbox now for $10. Their newly released Xbox Game Pass for PC, which I think they said was available as of today.
yeah, I'm still trying to figure that part out because I did hop on this bandwagon.
with there were 100 games that they talked about being available for Game Pass on PC,
It was like
and then
150, I think.
it also bundles in Xbox Live, so you get Game Pass for PC,
I
and
think it's
Xbox Live.
Xbox Live till March 2020.
Okay,
It was kind of weird the way they did it.
but all of that for $15 a month. But like you said a minute ago, if you do have Game Pass or Xbox Live right now, you can upgrade to Ultimate for $1.
That's totally worth it for like however long you get it for.
So
Or if you're like Shannon, you have it till like 2023.
yeah, Shannon has it
I,
for as long as you can go.
yeah, guys, I should hire him to do that for me next time.
So
Let's hop back to Gears of War 5 for 1 second.
okay.
The Terminator crossover.
Oh yeah, I did. I forgot about that.
Yeah, so they didn't give us any details. We just know it's a thing.
Yeah, I guess it's in conjunction with the new movie that's coming out.
Yes, it had a specific name. I've already forgotten.
Yeah, Terminator, whatever the next movie is called,
Yeah.
that thing.
So I don't know if you're fighting Terminators or if they're fighting you or the
It was
enemy.
a Terminator skin that they showed off. So I'm assuming that's something that you would be able to use.
I don't know. I mean, there's always those things where you're fighting against Terminators. Then others where you're running for your life from one.
Yeah.
Good times.
So
Uh, Borderlands 3 and
Borderlands
2
3 looks great.
looks a lot of fun. I think if I play it, I'm gonna be playing as that girl with the mech because she's all about the guns.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like this story focuses heavily on the sirens.
It's supposed to be
Or was
like
that a separate?
I think that was a separate thing for the Borderlands 2 final DLC, which is free. I think this is the thing free for a week,
Okay.
or no, this is free for like a month, I believe, and it's for Borderlands 2, and it leads into Borderlands 3.
Okay. That's what it was.
And something about the siren you play as, and how she's one of like the last six in the world or something. I don't know.
Hmm. Lilith was very heavily focused during that portion.
It's one of those things where we need Shelby on here for that lore.
Yeah, because I'm not super up into the Borderlands lore. I've played Borderlands 1 and I've played Tales from the Borderlands. I'm currently going through Borderlands 2 right now with my son.
Hmm.
Um,
Forza Horizon for Lego DLC.
this was the most bizarre announcement, I think, for me. It seemed so out of left field.
They gave the thing showing they're talking Forza. They opened up a
And
thing on stage. You see a vehicle there, and you're like, "Well, crap! They're showing another car no one's ever gonna afford."
and
And then,
then they played Everything is Awesome.
and then I became confused. I was like, "What are they doing?" I like this song, but what are they doing?
And they showed off a trailer for uh, Forza Horizon 4. What is it? Lego.
Uh,
Is it just like Lego Showcase or something?
Something like that.
But basically, it will bring Lego vehicles into Forza 4.
It looked like
Forza
you got to
Horizon.
go into like a Lego world too on there, crash into stuff.
Yes, there was what was really weird about that was when you saw real world cars in a Lego world,
Yeah,
and it was so weird, but it is the kind of just weird, bizarre crossover that's a lot of fun, and Shannon was super hyped about it.
I'm hoping that it's a Lego skin you get to wear for your character, so you can have a Lego character in a real world car.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
Oh, and
Uh,
the car they had on stage was all Legos.
it was a Lego McLaren.
Yeah,
So
so good for them on not wasting millions of dollars on a car that no one will ever buy.
now they just wasted however many Legos on a
Oh,
car
I'm
that
sure
no
that
one
thing's
will
gonna
ever
be
be
on
able to.
display in like a Lego museum or something.
Oh, probably. Ninja Theory's new game was shown off, which looks very different from things like Hellblade. It's called Bleeding
Yeah,
Edge.
Uh, I don't remember this one. I
There was a
remember it, but I don't.
lot.
Hmm.
There was a lot going on in that trailer. Um, it's very bright and colorful and sort of watercolor looks.
Oh, right,
Uh,
right, right. It's that 4v4. It's kind of a weird looking game.
yeah.
It had
It,
someone from DMC Devil May Cry involved in the making of it too.
okay.
So take that information as you will.
There you go. There's not a lot at this point that we really know about that. It'll go into alpha later this month, uh, and then we'll hear about that more as the year goes on. One game that I'm really kind of interested in was the new Minecraft game they showed off.
Finally, we get to see gameplay footage of the
Yes, this
Minecraft, whatever that is.
Minecraft Dungeons. It looks like basically Diablo Minecraft.
That was
Um,
exactly what I told Stuart. He lost power, so he got the text message version of the show from me.
yeah, it was very much a four-player co-op Minecraft dungeon crawler. So just imagine Diablo
With
in
Minecraft.
with Minecraft, pasted on
It's
top of it.
actually a 100% accurate description.
So, but it looks really, really good. I don't remember seeing platforms or anything about that.
Uh,
Um,
a game they showed off that I'm sure me and I know Micah was interested. You might have been interested as well. Battletoads.
I'll play this. This is, I'm a big fan. Well, I won't say I'm a big fan of Battletoads. I have liked Battletoads in the past, even though that is a game that is rage-inducing. Uh,
Right.
it looks really interesting. I like the new art style they're going for that.
Yeah, it's very, very different from what they've done before.
So, but it looks
And they had the that level that
Oh,
everyone
they did.
hates from a different angle.
Yeah, it's a behind the back view now, so you really can't tell how far away you are from the platforms and walls and things. So,
I really look
uh,
forward to the Mexican runner comments on that game whenever it comes out
oh
because
my
he's gonna.
gosh,
I'm sure he's gonna have some fun stuff to say.
yeah.
I mean,
Uh,
the dude can do the 2D one blindfolded, so
they showed off a trailer for Age of Empires 2 Definitive, which looks really nice.
I guess. I mean, it looked like Age of Empires too.
I mean, it does, but it's like it's a much prettier. I think it looks prettier than the original game. So. Microsoft announced their newest studio acquisition.
Yes,
They bought a new studio because they can't go a year without talking about who they bought. And this year,
they got the money, man.
it's a pretty big name.
They bought
Uh,
Tim Schafer.
they bought Tim Schafer, yeah, Double Fine. Uh, he came out and showed off Psychonauts 2. Now that Double Fine is a Microsoft game studio.
It looks like it plays like Psychonauts 1, so that's not necessarily bad.
No, not at all.
They showed off oh jeez, Gears Pop. I think that's a
Yeah,
mobile
which
game.
it is. Another one of those. They showed this off, or they announced it last year. Didn't really show anything
Yeah,
off.
so no one knew exactly what it was gonna be.
But yeah, Gears of War with pop figures is as weird as it sounds.
Tony, correct me if I'm wrong, but are we on the last Microsoft game now?
We are.
So the biggest surprise of all.
This was
This
huge.
blows Keanu Reeves out of the water. He kicked him to the curb and said, "Move to the side, son. I'm busy." It was on screen. The words Sega appears. I'm like, okay, you got my attention with Sega.
Sonic.
So then Sonic the Hedgehog is kicked to the curb.
Okay.
Not really. I mean, he wasn't there at all.
Project Diva on Xbox.
So they showed off something, and I'm sure any hardcore fans of this game who have been waiting and waiting
Years
and waiting and waiting
and
for.
waiting.
Has it been 5 years? Maybe 7? Anyway, fans have been waiting a long time for this, and we're probably in shock. They're like, am I seeing things? Am I going
Is this
crazy?
is this really what it looks like it is?
Can my heart take this again? Phantasy Star Online 2
Is coming
to
to
Xbox
America.
One, and it said PC.
Yes.
Xbox One PC Phantasy Star Online 2.
2.
Just take a moment, absorb the information. I'll say it again. Phantasy Star Online 2, Xbox One, and PC. In the West.
I'm
This area, the United States.
I'm pretty sure Shelby cried.
I'm sure all of us wanted to somehow or another.
So,
I don't, there's nothing more to say. I mean, that's a perfect phrase right there. Phantasy Star Online 2 is happening.
it is.
Finally.
It is actually happening over here in the West.
Meanwhile, Japan launches Phantasy Star Online 3
and then we have to wait 10 years for that one.
after being promised a game, and then it just doesn't come out for another 5, 6 years.
Yeah. So Microsoft's press conference was really good this year. They came out, they said, we're going to show you a bunch of games, and they ended up showing, I think, a total of 60.
That Phantasy Star Online announcement was kind of like the Final Fantasy VII remake announcement for me.
Yeah.
Just like not expected and really wanting that to happen. So, yeah.
Who was it in our chat that said that was basically, Microsoft Yakuzing?
I thought it was you that said that.
It
No, it was
wasn't me.
Micah. It was Micah.
So it was basically the Yakuza 5 equivalent for Phantasy Star fans.
Where's his comment? Where's his comment? Microsoft just Yakuza 5'd PSO2. Quote, Micah.
So
All the excitement
yeah,
right there.
yeah. That was, I think, the moment of the show for a lot of us. So, but that is it for Microsoft. And then the last one, which we watched live right before we recorded this episode, 21 minutes of absolute insanity from Devolver Digital.
Wait, we're not going to talk Bethesda.
Oh yeah, I guess we could talk Bethesda. I forgot about them actually.
You know what? Let's keep it short and sweet. Doom Eternal was shown off. Looked amazingly gory and fun. Uh, uh,
They
Fallout's
showed off.
getting Fallout 76 is getting an expansion. Nuclear Winter, I forgot what they called it, but they had a song for it, and it was that Burning Ring of Fire
It was
song.
Burning Ring of Fire because this is their battle royale mode coming to Fallout
That was what
76.
56 versus something.
52 players.
Gosh, and winner gets to be the one in charge of Vault 52.
Yep. So there you go. Which makes the 52 player count make more sense to me now, because I was like, that's a very strange number for a player count.
Indeed.
Bethesda also showed off some of Blades, which is coming out later this year for iOS and Android and Switch. I think it's available today for iOS and Android, and then later this year for Switch.
I think it's free to download right now.
It is for mobile, not for Switch.
Yes.
They showed off the Elder Scrolls card game, which will be on mobile platforms and tablets, which looks like any other electronic, collectible card game.
If you're wondering why I'm so quiet, it's because I'm trying to find the original Fantasy Star 2 or Fantasy Star Online 2 announcement.
Oh, okay. Uh, then they showed off. Yeah, they showed off Doom Eternal coming to everything under the sun. They showed off Wolfenstein. There's two different Wolfenstein games they showed
Yes,
off.
yes, there
One,
is.
Wolfenstein Youngblood, which is the two-player co-op game coming to Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch, and then Cyber something Wolfenstein.
Cyber security or something. I don't know.
It's basically you play
A
as
hacker,
yeah,
and you're hacking
and
into droids or mechs and blowing up other mechs. Is that
yep.
it's a VR game, right?
I don't know. I didn't see
I
that.
thought they
I
mentioned
missed
VR.
most of the Bethesda conference, so I was kind of watching it in bits and pieces.
Hmm. Okay.
Um, but yeah, so that was Bethesda. Oh, Commander Keen, they showed that off as well
That the hype was real for a moment there, and then instantly crushed.
when they showed that it was just a mobile sort of, not even a platformer. It's just weird, sort of kind of action puzzle game thing. I immediately lost all interest in it because I was wanting a new Commander Keen platformer.
Oh my
I'd
gosh,
have
Fantasy Star Online 2 came out in 2012.
2012.
Yeah,
Oh wow,
July 2012.
wow. So
Oh
yeah, it's
my
been
gosh.
7 years since that game came out. Uh, but that was Bethesda, and then Devolver Digital ended it with their absolute insanity because you knew
I
they were going to do something weird.
I had never watched Devolver Digital before. I ate literally finished a sandwich and then got the Twitch stream up.
That was a bad
That
idea
was a very bad idea.
because I've seen both of Devolver Digital's last two press conferences, which is this sort of they're keeping this continuity, this storyline continuity between their press conferences every year, and this just continued that story, where the lady who has been the presenter the last couple of years is in like this comatose state. She's in this medical chair. They've got her all hooked up to all kinds of machines. They're trying desperately to get her ready to present the press conference. This year, and one of their marketing people says, well, if we can't get her to press conference, let's just have the press conference in her head. And basically they go off, and all of this is then in her mind,
It
and
was
it was bizarre.
it, it was very Nintendo Direct.
They ripped Nintendo Direct right from Nintendo and said, here you go, we're doing this, just put Devolver in front of the word Direct instead of Nintendo, and that's exactly what it looked like, only with a lot of blood. Like
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah.
blood.
Yeah.
Um, so
A lot of blood. Uh, let's see. Games they showed off: Enter the Gungeon, House of the Gun Dead,
which is coming to arcades.
arcades, and they gave you a link to where you can buy it, and it is $5,000 for that arcade machine.
Yeah.
It's got a 42 inch, or no, 43 inch?
Yeah, I think it said 43 inch.
It's 43-inch LCD display in there. It's got two gun cons on there, or whatever you call those, light
Yeah.
guns.
Light guns.
The buttons are working on there, and coin slots, and
Well,
it's got a complete game on there too. So
yeah.
I honestly don't think it's worth the $5,000 that they're putting it out there for.
No, $5,000 is a lot, but this is supposed to be like a limited run
Very
type
limited run.
thing. So
I mean, I guess I could do a payment plan and get it.
no, you don't need to pay
I
five
don't
thousand
need that.
dollars for
No, I mean,
this'll
if I could
this'll
find the
come.
specs, I could probably build my own.
I would bet this game will eventually show up on
Well, the one they
consoles.
were showing for the actual preview stuff was like you could see the crosshair on screen moving around like either with a controller or a mouse input. So I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it's gonna be home friendly.
They showed off another game called Carrion, which I think had the most blood of any of their announcements.
It is a reverse horror story game.
Yes, where you play as the monster.
Yeah, so that's gonna be kind of interesting.
And to us, it did look like those, those games on like PC that are
The
Flash
gory,
games.
the really gory 2D retro style things with the lighting that does the cool stuff on there too.
Yeah, where it looked like you were eating specific things in the screen in the environment that would allow you to then grow bigger and eat different things and take more damage and
It's almost
whatever.
like you're getting abilities like your Samus.
Yeah,
But I mean, like you're sticking all over the ceilings and grappling and stuff.
yeah, because you are a mini tentacled monster that can basically grab a hold of anything on the
You are
screen.
the Metroid.
Exactly. They showed off a trailer, which we've seen from My Friend Pedro, which is a run and gun, fast paced, very bloody shooter.
I guess that's gonna come out sometime.
And that is coming to PC and Switch. So,
Yep.
and it looks really weird. I'm trying to figure out what the deal with the banana is in the game because
No one knows.
they have this banana that keeps showing up, but
It,
I've never seen a banana in actual gameplay.
it's like watching an episode of Psych. There's always a pineapple on each episode.
Yeah. And then the other game that both you and I noticed, one that I haven't played, but you have,
Mm-hmm.
The Messenger. And they showed off a free expansion to the Messenger.
It comes out, I think, next month. It is
July 11th, I believe.
Picnic Panic. Are we sure that's what it was still?
That is, I looked it up. It is
Okay,
the
good.
Messenger Picnic Panic.
So you got your regular messenger plot stuff happening or gameplay stuff,
Yep.
and then you throw in Surf Ninja.
Exactly. You are a ninja on the beach.
It looks amazing. I mean, just the messenger already looked amazing for what is essentially an 8-bit to a 16-bit time travel game,
Hmm.
and then you got now more environment stuff to do, so that it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, and one of the bosses that showed off, you were on like a surfboard out in the ocean, and there is a giant octopus shooting balls of ink at you, and you hit them back at him.
I'm really concerned with how this expansion is going to work for those who have the Twitch version of the game.
That's a really good question.
Because, I mean, you can't just download the expansion by itself and put it in there, can you?
I don't know.
I mean, that would. Hmm.
You may just have to buy another copy of the Messenger.
I think I might have a Steam version. I should check.
So, those were sort of the highlights from uh, Devolver Digital. Now it does look like they mentioned in their little video that they're looking at maybe doing more of these direct style videos. I don't know if that was a real thing or if that was just part of their story. Um,
I think it was part of their story because at the end, you'd already pressed pause, but they had a stinger at the end there where,
so,
like, she's taken offline from her thing and then wakes up again after some plot significance, and everything's covered in tarps, and then someone breaks in. There's apparently chaos going on outside, and they do the Schwarzenegger thing. Come with me if you want to live.
okay,
That's what you missed.
okay. So yeah, basically they continued their we're gonna poke fun at every single aspect of video game marketing that we possibly can in the most uh, hilarious but also disgusting way
DevolverBootleg.com.
possible. So,
And it just takes you to the Steam page.
yeah. So, but those are the four press conferences that we have seen so far. There is still left Ubisoft, Square Enix. Those are both on Monday, and then Nintendo on Tuesday. And we will probably do another show after Nintendo's Direct so that we can wrap all three of those into one episode.
Yep, Ubisoft, Square Enix, Nintendo.
So,
And so far, we haven't had any musical occurrences.
That's very true. We also haven't had anybody talking about what the heck is going on between Nintendo and Microsoft, and I want to know.
We will find out eventually.
Is there something going on? Is that just drawing, inferences from things that aren't really there? What's going on? Because I know there's still supposed to be Xbox Live stuff coming to the Switch at some point.
Maybe they'll have, was it Phil Spencer? Is he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll have him walk out on stage during Nintendo's.
So I guess we shall see.
Because, Nintendo loves their hype.
That's true. They do. They do. So there you go. Is there anything else you want to mention before we end this first episode of E3 recaps?
So far, I mean, this is what, day one? Technically, day one of the press events.
Yeah, but E3 doesn't proper start until Tuesday.
Yeah, but I mean, the press event wise, this is the first time I've watched this much of any of the press events on before the events even started already.
Yeah. So, very, very surprised by Star Wars. That is a game I'm very much going to get into.
Phantasy Star Online 2, man.
Yeah, so I think that has been announcement of the show so far. It's going to be hard to top that one for some people.
Extremely hard to top.
So.
And we have so much catching up to do to the Asian market for that game.
That's true. That's true. So, until we meet again, I'm going to go play more Dauntless.
Really? Dauntless?
Yeah, it's a fun game.
Alright. I mean, it's not like you're ranking up on Monster Hunter.
That's true. I need to do that too. I need to do that too. Well, thank you, Ethan, for being on this episode. We will be back probably sometime around the middle of the week for the rest of the press conferences.
Yep. Totally going to do that.
If you want to reach out to us, we have tons of new ways to do so. You can email us at podcast@procgent.com. That's PROCGENT.com. You can send us a voicemail if you want by clicking on the voicemail link on the right side of the website. You can send us voicemails up to 90 seconds in length, and we'll play those on future episodes of the show and respond to the questions that you have. If you like what we do here, you can now support us on Patreon, patreon.com/pgint. Patreon supporters will get a video version of the podcast a day early. These will normally go out on Tuesdays. Patreon supporters will get them on Monday. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/progenint. Check out our YouTube channel that we've got and see the content we've got going on up there. And then we still do have the Facebook group where you can interact with us on a daily basis as well.